Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Nelly, and I'm here today to talk about a really personal and difficult situation I went through recently. As many of you know, my longtime girlfriend Ashanti and I just had our first child together, a beautiful baby boy. But about a week after he was born, I made the tough decision to leave them for a little while and focus on myself.A. A lot of people have been wondering why I did that, and there's been a lot of speculation and rumors going around. So I wanted to take the time to explain myself and hopefully give you all a better understanding of what I was going through. This isn't easy for me to talk about, but I feel like it's important to be open and honest, especially with my fans who have supported me for so many years. As you know, Ashanti and I have been together for a really long time, almost 10 years now. We've been through so much together, the good and the bad. And when we found out we were having a baby, we were obviously overjoyed. It was something we'd been talking about for a while, and we felt like we were finally ready to take that next step. The pregnancy went really well, and Ashanti was a total champ through the whole thing. And then our son was born, and it was just the most incredible feeling in the world. Holding him for the first time, seeing Ashanti bond with him, it was magical. We were on cloud nine, the happiest we'd ever been. But then, about a week after he was born, I started to really struggle. I was overwhelmed with everything: the lack of sleep, the stress of having a newborn, the pressure of being a new dad. And I could tell that Ashanti was struggling too. She was exhausted from breastfeeding around the clock and trying to adjust to our new life. I knew that I needed to do something, but I didn't know what. I felt like I was drowning, and I didn't want to bring Ashanti and the baby down with me. So I made the really difficult decision to leave for a little while and go stay with my mom. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Leaving my newborn son and my partner, who was also under so much stress, it broke my heart. I felt like the worst dad in the world. But I also knew that I couldn't be the best dad I could be unless I took care of myself first. So I packed a bag, gave Ashanti and the baby a tearful goodbye, and went to stay with my mom for about a week. And let me tell you, that week was not easy. I was constantly worrying about them, wondering how they were doing, whether they were okay. I felt so guilty for leaving them, even though I knew it was the right thing to do. But during that time, I was able to get the help and support I needed. My mom was a godsend, taking care of me and making sure I was eating and sleeping and taking care of myself. And I also spoke to a therapist, which was something I'd been meaning to do for a while, but never made the time for. Talking to the therapist really helped me get to the root of what I was feeling. I realized that a lot of it was just pure exhaustion and overwhelm. Being a new parent is no joke, and I was putting so much pressure on myself to be this perfect dad right out of the gate. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. We're all just trying our best. The therapist also helped me work through some of my own childhood trauma and insecurities that I think were playing a big role in how I was feeling. Growing up, I didn't have the most stable home life, and I think that was making me really anxious about being a good father. After that week with my mom and the therapist, I felt so much better. I felt more grounded, more confident, and more ready to take on the challenges of parenthood. And when I went back home to Ashanti and the baby, I could tell they were both relieved to have me back. Ashanti was so understanding and supportive throughout the whole thing. She knew I was struggling, and she never made me feel guilty for needing that time for myself. And when I returned, I was able to be a much more present and engaged dad. I was more rested, more focused, and more attuned to their needs. Look, being a new parent is hard. It's the biggest and most important job in the world, and it can be really overwhelming, especially in those early weeks. And I think a lot of new dads, myself included, try to put on this tough, stoic front and act like we have it all figured out. But the truth is, we don't. We're all just winging it, trying our best to be the best parents we can be. And sometimes, that means taking a step back and taking care of ourselves so that we can show up fully for our families. I know my situation might be a little different from a lot of you out there, but I hope that by sharing my story, I can help normalize the idea of new parents, especially dads, needing to prioritize their own mental health and well-being. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And it's the best thing you can do for your family. So if you're a new parent out there and you're struggling, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Talk to your partner, talk to a therapist, talk to your family and friends. Take that time for yourself, even if it's just an hour a day. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you're the best version of yourself for your little one. Alright, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.